All right, we're here. We're here. All right, guys, we are live. We're back. Zenith Online Racing Season 8. Kicking things off with the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix at Jeddah. It's Tier 1. I'm Arbiga, joined once again this season by my good friend GP Colin. How are we doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing very well. Doing good. Excited. Super excited, actually. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Very excited as well. I'm a little concerned about how long it took for the lobby to load, but well, hopefully everything will be okay. This game has been a bit frustrating, to say the least, out the gate. So we got a few guys out here early. Seye has stayed here in Tier 1. He wasn't going to race without assist this season, but he could only race Monday night, so he's opted to run with them. Most of the other guys, familiar names you'll recognize from the Tier 1 and Tier 2 groups last season. The restrictions in Tier 1 now, something we should talk about right off the bat, is the assist restrictions. So this season, Tier 1 will be restricted to using racing line only. They have no traction control, no ABS, no gear assistance, no pit assist, no ERS, nothing. Just the line on the track. That's it. We have opted for no formation lap to begin the season. It's been causing a lot of issues in our preseason races. So we decided we were just going to take that off there. Make sure we got a smooth transition from the quali session to the race session. Something that we've had, I mean, it's been an issue for a long time, so it's not like it's a new thing, but it will be something to keep in mind as the season progresses. It may come back, but for now, it's going to stay off.
So it looks like Packer is going to give us our first timed lap of the season. Season 8, right?
Yes, sir. Season 8, and he is flying. On board with Packer.
I was going to say, he's been kind of quiet throughout the preseason.
Yeah.
I don't think he made any of the preseason races or anything, did he?
No, I think he's...
Which is no big deal for him. It's not going to compromise his abilities.
No, he's going to be fine.
Glad to see that he's here, though.
I think he's going to be a very dominant force this season. I think he'll be his own worst enemy, and that'll be about the only thing holding him back, because he was dominant last season, racing guys with assists. We got a guy on the racing line here. Jeez. I'm sure that was...
Yeah,
scared Packer a little bit, because it didn't look like he knew that Packer was there. Let's put it that way. It was a Haas car. Probably Razorback, or one of our new guys.
Ooh, 128.3. That's pretty good. That's really good.
Yeah, I don't know what a good time is on this track. I have not practiced it at all. We got Bet coming across the line. 29.5, so... Seye with a 35.4, obviously not a very good time. Seye is going to struggle early in this season. He's literally just not been practicing with assists, really. It's a pretty recent thing.
Yeah, he was being boastful in jest, really, in the Discord, shouting out his lap times and trying to get everybody going. So,
yeah.
You know... He'll do fine. He'll do fine. He does not like to be slow. I'm on board with... Oh, T-Money's on an out lap, so I want to find somebody else here. Looks like Brian Scott is wrapping up his lap.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Brian Scott.
And a 129.5.
So
good enough for P2.
He's literally 1,000th ahead of Beck, which is pretty impressive. Zamago's 29.8, Sam 29.9, and I mean, this is what we're going to be dealing with this season with Packer. He's 1.2 seconds ahead of the closest car. Obviously, there's still a lot of guys to set a lap here, but Packer was one of the quickest guys when he was racing with assist drivers. Now everybody here is on the same terms as Packer, and it's going to be tough to find him a suitable challenger, I have to say.
Well, you know, we can comment on him a little bit more often, and you know, the commentator's curse might affect him a little bit.
I think he's immune to it.
Okay, good. I really don't like to curse people.
No, that man's immune to the commentator curse. Team Money, though, perhaps not immune. Let's see if he can break the pattern here. Making his way through sector 2.
Really nice sequence of turns there.
It is. It's really nice atmosphere right now with the sun just going down, the lights coming on. Should be really interesting for the race session. I think it'll be a similar start, and then it'll be nice and dark by the end.
Less, not complicated, but technical area right there you just went through now. It's pretty much straight out, flat out until the final turn, and that's not a very difficult turn either.
No. T-Money, I think, could be a... I guess, like, I think it'd be pretty easy to say Packer's the favorite. I mean, he won last year when he was racing with the Cis guys. But I was going to say, like, T-Money could be, like, sort of an underdog for a second or third place finish in the championship, because he was always very strong, very consistent. And he's been racing with no assist for quite some time, so I think that's going to pay off now when he's a little more heads up with these guys.
Yeah, and his time was good enough at P4 right now, so I think he's got to be happy with that.
Puff, Vinny, Adri, Rec, Rockstar, RC, and Asylum have not gone out yet.
Rockstar is out on track.
RC just left the pits. Rockstar, yeah, he's setting a lap, I think, right now, so let's check in with Rockstar. And he's backed out.
Oh.
RC, first track action in some time. We haven't seen him all off season. Out there now. The Red Bull, number 23, the number that shouldn't be usable, which is a massive oversight. How did they just not... Anyway. Here we go already. First race of the season. Puff, also on the out lap. So Red Bull teammates Puff and RC running together. He's got number 21, so he did do his driver profile. That's the number he's always used.
That's true. I have to delve into that. I really haven't spent very much time at all learning this new game, unfortunately.
Rockstar with a 49.6, obviously not a representative lap. Yeah, there's
there's the learning curve, you know, and I got a few nights left to go before I need to have it nailed down.
Yeah. It's not much time though. Comes quick.
Yeah.
Brian Scott and Beck, very similar lap times. Did Brian Scott add that, improve that time?
Nope, that's the same time. That was the 1,000th of a second difference.
Right.
And RC now is finally around and starting his hot lap. I'm going to stay on board with him.
Beck is on a flyer at the moment as well. I'm going to stay with Beck for the time being, see how he's doing. He's got a purple first sector apparently. Not entirely sure how accurate that is. We got a slow car there. Looks like he's maybe just getting out of the way. Oh, Beck nudges the wall there. Oh, and he's lost it. He spun the car, and he's just nosed into the barrier here. And it looks like he's maybe saved it, but he's got to get turned around or he's going to be in big trouble here. He's going to have to do this quick. He's ghosted if he doesn't get moving.
Yeah, and RC he's doing very well. There was just one area that I thought he might invalidate, and apparently it wasn't bad enough to...
He's coming up behind Beck now. Beck moving very slow.
Last little technical corner here. You really need to make sure that you get that right to get the exit.
Yeah.
And carry that speed down the straightaway.
You almost need to aim at the barrier and kind of understeer it, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of faith in your driving and in the car and knowing the track, really. This looks like it could be a very good time here.
Yes, it is.
Very
good time from RC. He's up into second place. Joshua currently 29.4, so he's jumped Brian and Beck. Zmagos tucks in just behind them with a similar time. I will say, besides Packer, we have a very competitive fight for second at the moment.
Yeah, I think that. Oh no, Culminator just terminated.
Good one.
He's trying to turn himself around and into the wall, and yeah, there goes the tire, the wing, everything. He's done. Unfortunate. Yeah, I agree. I think that it's gonna be pretty, competitive throughout. It might be a little. Packer might be alone a little bit for a little while, but you never know. Adversity strikes and usually hits anybody at any time. You never know. But yeah, I agree. I think that looking at these guys, I think the way I'd like to see it is that almost anybody can win at any track, any day.
Yeah, I think Packer's going to be a tough person to take down, but if Packer loses it, I mean, yes, it could be. This is what my prediction is for the season, though, was that we were going to end up with a field like this. You got Adri there now putting some pressure on RC, right behind him on the chart. Brian has improved. We have a very good balance of pace in that top 10 right now, and that's exactly what we're hoping for. And what we'll see through the season is with the no assist is it's a little more skillful. In certain tracks, you're going to be able to make more of an impact without those assist guys. And without the assists on, you can make more of an impact if it's a track you really just understand and you find a way to get the car hooked up. What I think we're going to see is just a lot of some nights, there's going to be our consistent guys, but there's going to be some nights where some guys just come out there and just are on another level than we usually see because they just are feeling it or they got good setup. Or I think a lot of that stuff's going to be important as the season goes on. Just watching RC push into the garage here. Not sure why we're doing that. Let's get back to the track. We got Razorback, new driver. Vinny has joined, so we got 18. Nice to see Vinny's made it out. Yeah, we're 18 cars out here for the debut. I think we do have one empty seat technically. Maybe not. But two guys checked out for tonight, so otherwise everybody's here. One guy I think we knew was going to miss a couple races at the start, so no big deal there. But
so 3/4 of a second between Packer and RC, and then from there it is you got to go to you have less than a second from second to 10.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna. Yeah, and you know what? With most of these guys running no assist, I think a lot of them are used to it. I mean, most of those guys we're seeing in the top 10 are kind of who we expect to be there. We do see a lot of guys running without assist that are putting in competitive times right now. And I think as the race, even just as the race progresses, there will be guys making little mistakes, and I think it's just easier to if you're consistent and smooth, like the race will be where you racing as a guy not using assist in tier 1 will be able to make more of an impact by having a really smooth, consistent style.
Yeah, that's you hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. I mean, that's what everybody should be striving for because, one fast lap doesn't win a race. You don't win the race on the first lap. You don't win the race by getting pole position. You win the race by being the first one to cross the line at the end of the race. So you need to make it to the end of the race for that to even happen. So the consistency that you talk about, that's obviously, to me, that is the most important thing. You can't push too hard and take yourself out of the race. Just drive consistent laps and get your points. Finish the race.
So we'll talk about this a little more throughout the race section, but constructors, Puff Digital up into second.
Yeah.
Nice lap from Puff.
holding out on us. Wait until the last 3 minutes.
Oh, we got a guy warming his
quarter lap.
tires here into the braking zone. T-Money 100% was impeded there.
Oh,
I
no.
am not sure who that was. It was Sam. Sam has ruined T-Money's lap. He was on a very good run.
Yeah, it is Sam.
Yeah, Sam is definitely getting dinged for that one. First race of the season, not what you want to see. Got to be aware of... This is a long lap, too. I don't know how you let someone sneak up on you like that. Like, it's not like Austria where, like, you not pay attention for 10 seconds and suddenly someone's caught you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It is. It's somewhat nerve-wracking, to be honest with you, at times, because there's so much going on in your head as a driver that you're dealing with your own race. You're dealing with qualifying and whatnot, and you may have had a good lap, bad lap, and you kind of forget that there are other guys out there trying to make their laps, set their laps, and you just have to stay on top of it and make sure you get out of the way.
So Zem heading to the line now. Yeah, he's failed on that one. Not a great lap from him, I feel. Sam, it's a shame we can't do qualifying penalties. If we had a stewarding, if you could just like as a lobby like host, or if they assign a race director to the lobby, you could just like add a penalty to somebody.
Yeah,
that's pretty cut and dry. I mean, he definitely impeded T-Money there.
There's no
doubt about it.
Yeah, I guess the name in that sense is appropriate. Damn Sam. Maybe that's not what T-Money was saying, but he's probably
I was going to say Asylum and T-Money is actually a pretty interesting pairing. I think they could end up being a good contender for the Constructors title. Packer's gone about a half a second quicker, so he's 28 flat right now. He's just going to, I mean...
adversity.
Unless someone crashes into him in turn one, I don't think anyone's catching him today.
And of course, the pit sequence when you're going to pit, strategy and whatnot, that can kind of affect somebody like him, or anybody really, for that matter.
Where did Say retire? In the pits?
I don't know.
I think he may have. Packer's improved his RC on a run. No, he's not. Adri's just warming up. We're stuck with a yellow flag here. Yeah, there we go. 40 seconds. Yeah, I guess we just didn't have time to get back out.
Yeah, we got 4 guys out there right now. I'm sorry, 5 guys out there right now on a outlap. I don't know if they'll all make it to the line in time.
So Brian backed out. Sam has no battery left.
I'm going to ride on board, but we got Jinnit here, finally starting another lap. That's a very poor time for Jinnit, 1:33.
And he's also on 3-lap-old tires. I guess it doesn't matter. You don't start on the tires anymore. It is, though. Not a very good...
My graphic says 0.
Oh, does it?
My graphic gives me 0 laps on his tires.
Maybe mine just hasn't updated. I'm on board with Joshua, who's currently 8th. This is going to favor... This type of season is going to favor Joshua big time. He's invalidated, though, so let's actually go check in with Jinnit.
Stay away from the wall, Jim.
Oh, I had the best lap tire on, which is, I don't even know why they would show you that. But yeah, I've got 0 for Jinnit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see what Jinnit can do. I mean, he needs... Jinnit was really excited about the no assist. It's something he's been wanting for a while, and I think it is going to benefit him probably more than almost every other driver here, because he is capable of... I think he's probably going to be closest to Packer. Adri as well. I think those two will be like kind of lingering, but eventually Packer will just get away no matter what. But
great turn.
Important. Yeah, he did a good job. Jinnit. It's important for Jinnit to get a good result here. Wreck Diver into 28s here. Nice time from him. Only 10th for Jinnit. I mean, it's a tight field, but that's P10. That's not great.
There were a few turns there coming down the back side that I think that he probably wishes he could have nailed a little better.
Yeah, so that's it for our first quali session. Packer takes pole, no shock there, but Wreck Diver in P2. That's a really good result for him. Wreck Diver and Rockstar are racing in the Alpha together. That should be a pretty strong team. Adri takes 3rd. Puff will start 4th. Good. That's the best grid slot Puff's had in quite some time. RC will take 5th. Brian will start 6th. Sam 7th. Rockstar 8th. T-Money 9th. Joshua's 10th. Jinnit will start 11th. Beck down in 12th. Zamaga's 13th. Asylum is 14th. Razor is 15th. 31 flat was what I was looking at. And then I believe it was Quaminator, Seye, and Vinny rounding out the field. Vinny did not put a lap time in.
So, Puff being 4th, that's really good, because I saw him in Discord say that nobody can pass him.
Look at the spread there. I mean, like the gap from second to 13th is it's what, 8/10?
That's what we want to see. Yeah,
that's incredible.
8/10, just under 8/10.
That's 11 cars within a second of each other. I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a race. And look at the split there. Adri's just barely gotten ahead of Puff, who's just barely ahead of RC, and Wreck Diver has edged them out by about 1/10 and a half. Packer, the class of the field so far in qualifying, he's well ahead. Race 1, round 1 of season 8 here in Saudi Arabia. Qualifying's over, and we are almost ready to head to the race session. I'm going to go refill my beverage.
Okay. So yeah, the midfield, that I would expect that is what we're going to see the entire season. Knowing a lot of these drivers, most of these drivers, all very good, solid drivers, clean, and to see them here with 11 cars within a second of each other, that's a beautiful thing. If you want to watch some good racing, looks like Tier 1 is ready to provide that. And I can't wait. This is so awesome. So Tier 1 is going to set the benchmark for the rest of the tiers. Tier 2 on Wednesday at 8, Tier 3 Thursday at 8, and I would expect that each one of those tiers will be quite competitive. Tier 2 and Tier 3 are not going to be limited to, will be allowed to use certain assists. I'm not sure exactly if there are any that are forbidden or not allowed in Tier 2, Tier 3. However, I know most of those guys, they're not dependent on a lot of the assists. They probably use the line. Maybe some of the guys are still using automatic gears. But overall, I think most of these guys, they've been here so long, they're all pretty much maybe using the line, maybe the ABS, like myself. But other than that, a couple guys I heard are still using traction control, the lowest setting of the traction control. So, but other than that, I think Tier 2 and Tier 3, they're going to be really competitive. And I really look forward to this entire 8th season. Incredible. 8 seasons.
We're going to go racing right away here. We're not doing a formation lap. Looks like everybody's listened. Nobody's readied up early. So we're off to a good start in that sense.
Biggest speaks. People should listen.
Yes, I should.
Especially when it's the written word. There's no excuse. You didn't have to hear it. You read it.
Absolutely. But, I took my little break, and then I was like, I better hurry up because I'm not going to be able to come back to a formation lap at the moment.
Yeah, you don't want me calling the start of the race. Yeah, so I was telling my wife earlier, since we have a few seconds here, how excited I was about this upcoming season to do the broadcasting, because last season was the first time that I really delved into doing broadcasting, and you kind of roped me in with your providing me with an opportunity to go in and join you. The Hall of Fame broadcaster, a living legend. I forget how you put it. I was like, how can I refuse?
Yeah.
And So, you know, that was great. I worked my way into it. I had a lot of fun, and so this season I really look forward to, particularly, you know, the Monday nights. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, me too. It's a little different once you got a season of experience under your belt. It gets a little, I guess it gets a little easier, and gets a little more fun. You know, it's a little more comfortable. So by the end of this season, we should be putting in some quality broadcasts. But we got 4 seconds left here, and we are gonna see the lights fired up. We're gonna go racing right away here. No formation lap. It's been causing issues for us. And here we go. 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And we are racing here in Saudi Arabia. Good start for Packer. Little slippery on the second phase, though. Anybody getting anything done into turn 1? Hard to tell. A little bit of contact in the back, it seems. They're already making their way through carefully. Do we have a spinner at the back? Okay, everybody's through clean. It looks all right. So let's check in the tires. We got hards on Packer. Everybody else on mediums behind. And we got a few guys on hards further back. So the grid just sort of fielding itself right now. Puff has lost a place, I think.
Oh no, there goes Say just spun. He's on the hards.
Oh, RC's all the way at the back, so he's got caught up in something at the beginning as well. That's RC luck if I've ever seen it. He's puts in a hell of a qualifying, and then something happens on the race start. He's just had such rough luck. Even last season it was similar. He was really struggling in the race sessions.
So, incredible. Packer started on the hards. This means trouble for the rest of the field if they can't keep up with them.
Oh, I wouldn't even worry about P1 at the moment. I'm just going to pretend he's...
So Adri is actually...
Adri's our real leader right now. Yeah. Packer's just out here. Packer's just out here strutting his stuff. Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, I'm hoping at some point we do find someone who can really challenge him, but over time these guys will get better and they'll be able to close that gap a little bit, but it's going to take some time. Razorback trying to make a move on Beck, but goes very deep. He's actually given up the place to Rockstar, who's now just edging him out down the straight. It looks like Rockstar going to get that place. Beck has had some kind of issue because top speed-wise, Beck has really fallen off there, and Razorback trying to get himself sorted out. He's clumsily trying to make it off onto the track. Yeah, he's doing okay. He's just missing some braking zones, I think. So Puff now putting some pressure on Wreck, who has a bit of a gap ahead of him. Once DRS kicks in, Puff going to be able to put some serious pressure on, and he's got Sam, Joshua, and Jinnit. So this is our little battle right now. This is something we're going to want to keep an eye on. Brian Scott out front, too, also pressuring Adri.
Yeah, so Asylum is about to make a move on Rockstar, and he got that done. He was really hounding him.
Interesting tire strat for Jinnit. Jinnit really is with his main competitors right now, but on the hard tire, and I think that is going to pay off for him. And it's also good for Beck because he's right there as well. Beck, Asylum, Rockstar, not too far off these guys. So the field is starting to squeeze up a little bit. It is starting to tighten after the, tiptoeing around the first lap. We're starting to see everybody kind of find their form now. Adri is sort of hanging on to Packer, but obviously different tires. You think that has something to do with it. The fact that Packer's got 1.7 though really right now on the hards is a really solid performance at the moment. Brian Scott, look at this. I mean, we've got essentially the whole top 10 within reach of one another at the moment. Really the whole field. I mean, top 15.
Yeah, the whole field. Yeah, Team Money, I'm following along with Team Money right now, and he's all over the back of Zem. And yeah, all these guys, they've been in the league for quite a while, so this is exciting. See these guys battle it out, and Team Money is just all over his gearbox. He just can't find a way around. Maybe once DRS comes online.
Yeah, we do have a lot of action going on at the back there. Let's get down there and take a look at some of this real quick. We got a few guys close to one another. Rockstar, a little bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment, holding up Razor. We got a late move here from the Mercedes. I'm still getting used to who everybody is. Zem taking a look down the inside on Quaminator. So look at this little group moving through Sector 2 now.
Yeah, nose to tail pretty much throughout.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It really is, yeah. No, this is what we're here for. And you know, for anyone just tuning in, if you're new, if you missed the beginning of the broadcast, Tier 1 now assist restricted. So line, only the racing line is available for the drivers. So everybody you see
contact
here, it's Zem getting a little feisty there with Plominator. And there's contact. I think Plominator has... Yeah, he lost it on his own, or was there contact there?
And he reset the track. I think he lost it on his own. I think, from what I saw, there was an unforced error, to use a tennis analogy.
Yeah, resetting to track is not allowed. It's a very cut and dry rule for us. It's not allowed. And you only get, if you get 5 penalty points this season, you're going to miss qualifying. So resetting to track is something you do not want to be doing. So it really doesn't leave room for any on-track incidents if you're picking up penalty points doing things like that.
It keeps you honest. It really does. I mean, you need to have that hanging above you. You can't just say, oh, I got another 10 points before I get a penalty. You know, you need to have that soon. And I applaud the change. I really do.
Vinny's had a bit of an issue here. He's lost ground. So Say is actually closing on RC. So, I mean, Say is starting from basically ground zero here on the assists, no assists. So, give him credit if he finishes the race today. I think he'd at least be happy with finishing. And, you know, depending on what goes on in front of him, it might result in some points. You never know.
Yeah, I think this is his second full season, right? I think he came in the end of season 6.
All over Sam here. He's got that DRS, very long sweeping corner, and it looks like he's going to have it covered into the final turn here. And yes, Joshua does get the move done. So we've got a nice little scrap going on here. Puff has dropped Joshua and Sam. Still pressuring Wreck Diver, but he cannot get close enough.
Yeah, so, Puff's going to need to start looking in his rearview mirror because Sam now is going to have the DRS. And I believe this is a 3 DRS track.
Yeah, there's one where?
I think coming out of the last turn, going...
Yeah, I think it's this little, after these little chicanes here, you'll get DRS briefly, right?
I believe so. It's at least 2, anyways, I know that.
Yes. No DRS here. So it's just 2, I guess. It's that back straight and then the main straight.
Yep.
Right now, though, all the gaps staying pretty steady. We're not really seeing too much field spread at the moment. There's a bit of a drop-off from Brian to Wreck. I'd imagine if Puff and Josh and Sam were to get through, they might be able to close up a little bit here. I wouldn't say Wreck's necessarily holding Puff up, but I'm assuming Puff's not driving, you know, completely full out right now at the moment either. Joshua has dropped.
There are 3. We have 2 on the back stretch, and then after the final turn, coming down the front stretch, you have another DRS zone. So there are 3.
Joshua has dropped. Hopefully he can get back in here.
Oh no.
Puff now taking a look at Wreck. He's close enough to send it. Can he get it done here? I think he's going to be ahead into the corner. Wreck trying to stay on the inside, and it looks like Puff has it. Puff got the move done up at a P4. So now he can get his head down and start trying to hunt down Brian. Wreck will now be in the sight of Sam. Sam not too far off. Hopefully Joshua can get himself back in that car before he loses too much ground. He has lost a few places, though.
Yeah, Beck's about to overtake him now. Excuse me. Yeah, so Janet on the hards. He's got to be somewhat pleased.
We put the AI at 70, and I would say that's not terribly disadvantaged. Like, if you're not driving the car and it's going at that pace, like, you're not really losing a whole lot, right?
Right.
Like, it's somewhat competitive still.
To be honest, I think you need to be closer to 50%. If you really want to appropriately affect those that, you know, go AI or get dropped, not that that's their fault,
no.
But it's not fair to the guys that are, you know, could easily overtake them because they're driving AI, and you're driving against an AI driver and you can't pass them. So.
Like they wanted it at 80, and I was thinking, like, I think 80 is a little too much. I think 70 is a little more There needs to be a little bit of punishment for not being the actual driver for a moment, whether it's intentional or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ask anybody who's been behind an AI driver and not been able to pass. They're not going to be happy with it.
Jinnit gets the move done on Sam now, so Jinnit starting to find some pace on those hard tires. Very good news for Jinnit. And Puff has taken a large chunk out of Brian, who is really, really scrapping with Adri. Adri and Brian going wheel to wheel here, and it's cost them both a bunch of time to Packer, but also allowed Puff to close in. Puff is now almost within striking distance of these two.
So let's see. I'm looking at position change. Unfortunately, RC and Rockstar.
Dominator has lost the car. That is going to be a safety car. It is.
Oh.
We do have a safety car, so Packer has lost his gap. I guess for the rest of the field, not a huge issue, really. Nobody's really earned a phenomenal gap at this point. But if you're on the mediums, do you go to the hard? You got to go to the hards now, right?
I was just going to get into that. It's like I don't have enough experience on this track to really make that kind of call. I would think that you'd want to get off of these mediums.
Absolutely. I think
maybe a two-stop now.
The hard guys, though, like you're not going 18 laps on mediums. I think you're going to have to stay out. The hard guys, Razor on the softs actually will benefit quite nicely from this because he would have gained a little extra pace running on the softs early, and will now be able to swap out for a better tire. So let's see who dives in here. Packer in the pits, obviously. Okay, Brian's going in, Adri's going in. Puff going, I think everybody's going to pit here. Wreck Diver has stayed out. Oh, he's dropped right as he was passing the pit entry.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. So I think the car... Yeah, I think Wreck Diver, I think the car stayed out because AI took over. I imagine he would have pit as well. I don't know why you wouldn't pit.
Guys got to buy long Ethernet cords. Make sure you get hardwired. Oh, what was that? Back into the wall?
Oh, good God. Say stayed out. Oh, boy. He's going to be in front of all these guys on old hards. This is going to be... jeez. They're going to have to be very careful. I'm just like, it's no slight on Say, like, kudos to him for getting in here and racing, but, like, he's still figuring it out, and they all got to get around him now.
Yeah, I have faith in Say. I think he's going to do just fine. However, I wouldn't want to be him on 7-lap-old hards and everybody around me fresh tires.
Just to go back to what you said though, Ethernet cord. I've played this game for years and years, and I only recall one time ever dropping out of a session, and that's I think because of the Ethernet. Like if you're playing with Wi-Fi. You know, someone turns the microwave on and your Wi-Fi goes down, you're going to drop from the lobby.
There's another way of saying Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fire. You're playing with fire if you're using Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I guess for racing,
yeah, and there's nothing worse than having a good race going for yourself. And I don't know this from experience because I've always been connected, hardwired. But I can imagine that you can't. You're having a great race, and then something totally out of your control, like electronic wavelengths and whatever, knock you out of the race. That's a pisser.
Yeah, I think this is going to benefit Wreck, though, because he's going to have time to get himself back in here. At least, the very least, he's not...
so we're going around again.
Ground, I guess.
So somebody did pit, so Asylum's dropped back gone into the pits. Not much to lose by going in. So did RC. So it looks
now,
like...
Now, is that a decision that you've technically changed your tires and you're already at the back? If you slap the mediums back on, you can go to the end of the race.
Yeah, so Asylum is getting a new wing, and he served a 5-second penalty.
They've put the old mediums back on for both guys.
Oh, you're right. Oh, they're not going to be happy with that. But Asylum did have a 5-second penalty. He pulled into the pits. They didn't touch him, and they had a wing ready for him. So he really kind of there was a great opportunity for him right there to get rid of that 5-second penalty. And as we say that, Brian Scott got a 5-second penalty, ignoring yellow flags.
Now, that could be appealed, so let's just keep that in mind towards the end of the race. He will not have to pit again. It may have been a glitch. I don't... Did he pass somebody, or...?
I don't know. I was still on board with RC and Asylum.
Yeah. Well, they're certainly not going to be happy about that, I'll say that, but, I guess what do you do at this point?
Wreck Driver seems to be AI right now. He's ghosted.
Yeah,
he's
back
is he still
in
in session, or
maybe he just hasn't picked up his car at the moment.
Well, I hope he's not just coasting along the safety car, or behind the safety car. He really should be in car, unless you have a bladder emergency.
Wreck Diver is saying his connection is very unstable at the moment, so he's probably going to retire.
Damn.
He's just saying, yeah, just park in the pits.
That sucks.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. He was quick.
And there you go. That's just it, right? So here he is. He's in first place, and a technical issue like that could be prevented if you're hardwired for the most part, like you said.
Yeah.
You avoid that kind of an issue.
Yeah, unless your internet actually fully goes down. If your Wi-Fi is experiencing issues, then you're in trouble. But if your actual service provider just drops, then there's nothing you can do, whether it's hardwired or not, right? But that's rare. It's extremely rare.
So, Asylum, Josh, and RC all pitted again. Asylum went on to the hards. Josh is on the softs.
That's interesting. Why did he do that? Just banking on another safety car, perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps. Well, I think that most of the guys will... maybe not. I was going to say maybe most of the guys are going to have to pit again, but... I don't think it's that bad.
Surely the safety car is coming in this lap, right?
Yeah. Well, it should. It really should. However, he almost... I didn't see where he was when he came into pit. But going on to the softs now, he should be able to make up quite a few positions on those softs. Maybe
is he going 15 laps on softs, though?
No, I doubt it. I think a little bit of, like what you said, I think he's probably banking on another safety car.
I guess the first race is the time to do it, right? If you're going to take a big gamble, you might as well do it when you're on 0 points.
Right. Yep.
Rather than like where it matters later on when things are established, right? The safety car light's still on here. Okay, there we go. Thank God.
Yeah, so I don't know how far Josh dropped down the field boxing again, going on to the softs, but he's got 6 drivers in front of him on used hards. They're not that old, however. He should be able to make some inroads here and maybe get himself up to the single digits in position.
Alright, we're restarting the race. It looks like Wreck Diver's AI is still controlling, so it looks like all these guys are going to be able to go through. Hopefully he doesn't take control now. That would be a nightmare. Oh, big moment for the Red Bull behind there. Was that Puff? No, it wasn't Puff. Was it RC? Somebody's had a huge moment back there and gone straight through that corner. I don't know who it was. It looked like a Red Bull, but...
It's not RC.
Oh, Puff nearly loses the car. He's trying to hang on. He's got big pressure from Jinnit behind. Might have been Seiya, perhaps. I don't know. Silent with our first... Oh, I guess Brian... Yeah, well, first track limit penalty.
Right, yep.
Because Brian picked up 5 for yellow flags, but we're not entirely sure if that's accurate.
So, Jinnit has gotten past Puff.
Mm-hmm.
I think Puff realized that that was not his fight to have right now.
Yeah, his tires don't seem to be warmed up at the moment. He nearly lost it just taking a very simple corner on the restart, so I think he's definitely trying to be cautious here. But Seiei staying out on the hards. Interesting decision. I think he's not going to gain a whole lot from that, is he?
Maybe not, but Janet's probably, you know, quite gleeful right now.
Yeah, Janet's... Yeah, I mean, Janet's also probably pretty nervous. He's got Seiei in front of him, and he hasn't really figured out the assist yet.
Now, Seiei is actually closing in on Adri, and Adri is not slow, so, you know, that's good for Seiei. If he can keep up with him, that shows that he has learned these lowest no assists quite well. However, he has now fallen back.
Yeah, he's doing okay, honestly. I think Wreckdiver's rejoined, and his AI's put him on softs, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, from first to last.
And from medium to soft, too. Like, if that strategy's viable, like, why haven't the other guys done it? Jinnit now catching Seiei. This is gonna get spicy. RC picking up time penalties. Really just not recovered from that opening lap there. I wonder if he has floor damage or something.
Asylum trying to get past RC. Oh, so close. Good driving by both drivers. They were basically side by side approaching the turn, and I think Asylum wisely left the space and backed off.
So, Jinnit.
No, RC just went around, coming out around last turn 27.
Yeah, turn 27. Which
Damn.
one?
The last turn. Turn 27.
So, Seiei sitting there is actually giving Puff a good chance to get back up to Jinnit. He's taking a couple tenths out now. Seiei, nice job there. Actually closed the door on Jinnit through that corner. He's actually looking fairly solid right now.
Yeah, so Jinnit's gleeful smile probably went to a frown at this point.
He's got a
grimace.
Adri's not far off, so that's some kind of consolation, I suppose. Adri's right there.
Now, do you think Jinnit is thinking going to the end of the race on currently 5-lap-old mediums? So he'd have to go another 12 laps, so 17, 18-lap-old mediums.
I think he's got to. I mean, Packers looks like he's gonna do it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And
Packer,
so, yeah, he's gonna.
Packer, however, can tire manage. He's out front. Like, I mean, he's really not under pressure at all.
Yeah, and I would assume if Jinnit can go to the end on the 5-lap-old mediums, then Brian Scott and Adric can certainly go to the end on the 5-lap-old hards. Seiei is just the one obstacle right now, 12-lap-old hards. But
Sam's
he should be able to.
Disqualified.
Oh no.
Where is he?
I don't see him. The yellow is down the front straight. I don't know if that means he retired in the pits or.
It's entirely possible. Jinnit does get the move done on Seiei.
Well, now Jinnit can really put his nose to the grindstone. And really he has to make pace right now on these 6-lap-old mediums. He needs to get by Adri as soon as he can. Then start managing his tires.
Puff must have had a bit of an issue because he was well off Seiei and Jinnit after that overtake was completed. He's got some Oculus closing in now as well, so Puff's going to need to find a couple tenths here to get into that DRS range of Seiei. Joshua now in the mix as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, remember Mr. Joshua back in like P15 on the new softs? 4 laps later, he's in P8.
Yep, that's true. He might be going to the end.
imagine. I don't. This is just a big guess. I would think that this track would allow for tire management. You know, it's a lot of straightaway. I mean, there's just, and then you just need to ease up going into the turns if you're comfortably ahead of the guy behind you. It's fairly easy to defend here, I would assume. Not a easy place to pass. He could make those. Maybe he can preserve his tires and get to the end.
It's definitely possible. Say he's actually holding his own pretty good race, just lacking consistency because he's got a decent gap at times and then suddenly he'll just lose a bunch. I mean, he's really brought Puff into the mix now, and Puff wasn't that close to him a moment ago, so.
Something must have happened to Asylum. He had to box again. He's on some softs. He was, however, able to get out in front of Wreck Driver and RC.
Yeah, I guess they're having a little scrap back there, right? So we're coming up to the DRS zone for Puff on CA now. Puff is going to be under serious threat from Zimoglis here. Zimoglis is absolutely hounding Puff. There's really nothing in it for him, though. Back behind, we got Rockstar looking to make a move on T-Money. Say's had a big moment, and that lets Puff and Zem through. Say probably should be pitting soon. He might just be holding out for a safety car.
Yeah, he does have to box. I mean,
if he was to get a safety car now and everyone were to pit, he would actually hold a stroke of brilliance, honestly.
Yeah, well, yeah, that I imagine that's what he was hoping for. Or that's what he is hoping for. And to be honest, I mean, I think we've all been in that position where we're stuck. We kind of have to make these, you know, assumptions. Let's do this and hope for this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he can take these to the end, I mean, I don't know how much farther he might drop right out of the points, though.
Oh, Wreck Driver's out. He's done that in the pit lane, though. We suspected that was coming. Zimoglis still all over Puff here. And now Say is actually closing back in on him.
So I'm on board with Packer. What a lonely race. However, you're winning the race. I guess there's a level of enthusiasm that goes with being all by yourself out there. I know that I've been in, 4 or 5 seconds behind the guy in front of me and 4 or 5 seconds ahead of the guy. Did I say that backwards? 4 or 5 seconds behind the guy in front of me, 4 or 5 seconds ahead of the guy behind me. And that's not fun. I mean, geez and crow, you can't catch the guy in front of you and the guy behind you isn't catching you, which is not a bad thing. But
the only time I don't mind it is when I'm at the front.
Yeah.
If I see a nice 6-7 second gap that isn't really going or coming, then I'm perfectly content with it.
So I've been in this league now since partway through season 2, and that's happened to me one time. So
yeah.
It was thrilling to see that I had a 5-6 second lead. It was at Monaco, so that's a huge lead in Monaco.
There's just for the chat there. Yeah, checking the YouTube link. Should be a link in the bio for your Discord channel.
So Josh now within half a second of Say, or he was.
Zem all over Puff here. This is going to be it for Zem. He's got to get it done here. Been stuck behind for quite some time. Now Puff around the outside hanging on to it. And they're still wheel to wheel, leaving each other plenty of space there. There was no corner to close you out of on the exit. So So is this going to benefit Puff now? Give him a little bit of a slipstream. See,
Oh!
back in the mix here. This is ridiculous.
Oh, wow. That had a DRS assisted.
Surely he's going to the softs now at this stage, right?
Yeah. If he decides to box at all. I don't know, what's the penalty for not boxing? Not using two compounds, you get DQ'd probably. Yeah, that's what it is. However, wasn't there, was it Latifi or I forget who it was? They waited until the last lap and boxed.
It was Albon.
Albon?
Yeah.
So 17 lap old hards, I think probably still keep praying and stay on those. I mean, obviously he's doing quite well. He's holding off Puff and Josh. Now Josh, 8 lap old softs. He's probably seen the better of those tires now.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be getting much out of them anymore. Puff now has fallen behind Seye, who some surprising pace on these old hards. I'm a little shocked. He's actually catching some moguls.
Yeah, I think Seye has been deceiving us. Oh, I think he tagged the wall there.
He did, yeah. He's had a huge moment coming out of that corner.
And yeah.
Very poor
Puff's
on the throttle as well. Now Puff is going to get him back.
Ooh, not
Puff's,
so. You gotta have him, yeah. Oh.
Puff should have the
Wow.
inside for the next corner. And they're still side
Great
by
driving.
side. Yeah, Puff just slams the door shut. And that's puts Seye on the back foot. He's going to be under pressure from Joshua now.
I think Seye's been sandbagging.
You think so? I think
No,
maybe he just
I just-
actually never sat down and ran laps without assists. And now that he's in a race, he's like, oh, this actually isn't that bad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he just incurred a 3-second penalty too.
I mean, that's not bad for this stage of the race.
No, no. I would never count him out.
No, I'm telling you, man, if he figures out how to drive without the assist, he's going to be right up at the front again.
Yeah.
Like, the pace is there. It's just a matter of getting the car to work.
Yeah, I mean, he's P7, 11, 18 lap old hards.
Yeah, he's holding his own. Like, I mean, if you put him on equal tires, I think he'd be easily able to compete for these positions.
So, how many races this season? 20? 18?
Uh, 18, yes, 18 races, so 17 left after tonight. Joshua does get the move done. Say, seems to get that throttle down nicely out of that exit as well.
Oh, they're both
They
boxing.
both pit. Interesting.
So, ooh, late
Barely.
break by Josh. So, both going on to mediums. No. Seye's going on to the softs. And if Josh has another set of softs, he's got to go on to the softs as well. And he is. Oh, that's Seye, I'm sorry. Yep, both of them are on the soft. Yeah. Wow, Seye just... Why was that pit stop so much faster for him? Did Josh have to replace the front wing?
Maybe.
I mean, Seye's got a 5-second lead over him.
Was it the immersive pit stop, perhaps? I don't think it would have cost 5 seconds, though.
So
So
Adri
Brian
now is...
Yeah, I was going to
Go
say,
ahead.
Brian's come under pressure now from Andrew and Jinnett. And Packer, 10 seconds out front. Not terribly shocking, but we have seen him with larger leads. I'm sure he is just managing the mediums at this stage. There's no way they're working that great anymore.
No, he's got 4 laps to go, 5 laps to go, and he just needs to bring it home at this point, which is incredible when you got 4 or 5 laps left to go and you just need to bring it home.
Absolutely. He's doing a great job out there. We kind of expected him to be the dominant force early in the season. We'll see if anyone can close the gap as the season progresses, but it would be nice if we could perhaps find another driver or two that they're actually able to challenge him at the front.
You know, maybe we have one or two within this field already.
Perhaps, yeah.
You know, new season, new cars. So, I mean, it's possible that some driving styles benefit from the new game mode, if you will, or...
Somebody's lost it. Was that Zem? It was. Zemoglis has made a big mistake. He's actually been having a really solid race so far, and he's now had a big moment, and that's probably going to put Beck within striking distance of him by the time he gets himself sorted. But Zemoglis last season was on a miserable run. I don't recall him scoring points. There was a lot of DNFs, just bogged down with issues for most of the season, and he's actually had a really solid race tonight. I think he was he ahead of Puff? I think he was.
Not sure. But I agree.
Taking a look at Brian, not close enough yet.
So this is interesting. Equal age tires. So, and now Adri has the DRS. This could be a little back and forth for the next 3-4 laps.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good scrapping. I think Jinnit will sort of sneak into the mix, even though his tires seem to be failing him at the moment.
Yeah, he
should be able to close up and maybe have a look at the inside of one of these guys.
It's exactly what he needs. He needs these two to start going wheel to wheel. So this is, I'm trying to make sure I get interval. So this is really the closest battle on track right now. Oh, Adri must have looked away. What was that?
Yeah, he had a big wobble there. Either that or it was some lag maybe, but this is it. I mean, he's got the DRS here. He's got another DRS run. Surely he's going to get this done here. Brian Scott under serious pressure here.
Yeah, you need to set him up. There you go. Go wide. Tuck in underneath. Oh, but wow, Brian Scott got a great exit.
He got a great exit, and Jinnit is sitting back praying that Brian can keep Adri behind for another lap. I think Adri, yeah, absolutely. Phenomenal patience there from Adri. Nice job into the braking zone and just coasting the car through the corners now. Picks up P2 for the time being. Brian sitting third, hanging on to that final podium spot. If Adri does stretch his legs a bit, that should allow Brian to focus on gapping Jinnit, and he probably will be okay. That 5-second penalty could be under review. It was under the safety car, and often those will get removed if they were erroneous. So we'll take a look at that after the race, and we'll see how that goes. But Puff Digital looks like he's kind of just settling in for that 5th place. He's lost a lot of ground to Jinnit here. Doesn't look like he's pushing too hard at the moment. He's probably just trying to bring it home safe. Got Rockstar behind him, not too far back.
So this is interesting. This is fantastic, really. I mean, the closest battles are here at the top. 2, 3, and 4. Mm-hmm. A lot of points on the line here. Podium. Jinnit just so close to being within DRS of Brian Scott.
Jinnit doing everything he can here to hang on. He's probably hoping to get it done on track. I think either way we would end up interviewing Jinnit because we don't know that 5-second penalty will be removed. We have to kind of treat it as a permanent penalty. RC, I think, is called it a night.
Aha.
Down at 15th, Damn. 1 lap to go. I mean, I don't blame him. But
yeah, but it was so promising. It was such a promising start.
It really was, yeah. He had a hell of a qualifying session there, and I'm going to guess he got floor damage because I don't know how you could do that well in the quali and then just be nowhere in the race. I was thinking whatever happened in turn 1, he probably picked up some floor damage and likely struggled for the rest of the night. So.
Yeah, so update on the penalties here. I hadn't really looked at them. Brian Scott is currently carrying 5 seconds and Jinnit 3 seconds. So I think it's Brian, you were saying, might have be looking to perhaps remove the 5 seconds?
Yeah, I'm thinking he might get that removed, so. And look at the time. It's only 9:10. 9:10.
Oh, this is...
And we've had a safety car. We actually are running the reduced safety car this year. Obviously, we haven't really had any on... Honestly, really, the only crash on track was Bominator. The rest of the guys retired in the pits. Like, and it has to be said, I mean, this is our first no-assist race in Tier 1 on a track that nobody's really raced at. And we've had less DNFs than we were seeing last season. And that's a really good start. I'm happy.
Yeah, and not to, you know, I guess the silver lining in unfortunate Quaminator's crash was it was just a single crash. He didn't. It wasn't like 2 cars involved.
It's a great camera shot here. Say closing on Razor. Say trying to snag a P9 here. He's within reach, but let's go check in on our front runner, Packer here. It's been a lonely race for Packer. He's been basically racing on his own, but he's done a hell of a job. He came in here and delivered on what we were suspecting would be the case. Very dominant victory in the first Grand Prix. A lot of the guys that were challenging him last season have gone down to Tier 2, running those assists still. The unfortunate part is we don't really have direct competition for Packer at the moment, but I don't know if I could get him. I'm sure he would like to race wheel to wheel, but he's probably not going to be terribly upset with cruising to an easy victory at the start of the season either. So
yeah, I think he probably finds his challenges in other leagues, because I think Packer's a member of at least another league. So
yeah,
and he's going to cross the finish line 12 and almost 13 seconds ahead of second place.
Yeah,
good job.
Great job for Packer there. Gets the win. Jump to Adri now. He's going to bring it home in second place. We got Brian and Jinnit with their penalties. Brian 5 seconds, Jinnit with 3. I think Jinnit will get that podium, and it might hold. Depends on the steward decision about that 5-second penalty. Puff Digital on the final corner. Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my goodness, he's lost it on the final turn.
Oh, he's frustrated.
He's trying so hard to get the car turned around. He was coming home in P5, and he's going to lose it to Seye and Beck potentially here. No, he's going to have Beck covered. Seye brings it home. Well, he drops to 9th on the penalties. Puff still snags 7th, so I think, did Puff have penalties there? How did Zem get him? I guess Zem just got him on the error.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, he drove by.
My goodness.
And to be honest, I mean, that turn is not necessarily a turn you need to concern yourself with
No.
You know, spinning out. And it's not impossible to do, obviously, but that's not one of those delicate ones. That sucks.
Shocked by that. I don't think I've ever seen Puff do something like that. I've seen him obviously have a spin here and there in a race, but on the final corner, on the final lap, I don't think I've ever seen him do that. Seye, driver of the day, and you know what? I agree. Seye's come in here absolutely down on himself. No confidence at all. Couldn't put a lap together in quali. Brought it home in P9. I think he picked up 2 points after starting 17th. Really solid drive from Seye.
Let me ask you this before we get into the finishing results and whatnot. It just struck me. It's like, geez, wouldn't it be nice to interview, say, driver of the day? Would it be
the game?
No,
the game. No, the game just picks random drivers of the day. Like, it's not necessarily going to be who we think is. So I don't think so. No,
that's fine.
I don't think we need a fourth person to interview either. But I'm pretty sure Adri. I don't think Adri will join us for interviews. He generally doesn't. So I was thinking we could invite Brian in for the interview if you wanted to.
That's totally up to you. I'm just as unprepared for interviews as I have ever been.
Okay, so Let me just run us through the order quickly. Packer wins it, Adri second, Jinnit third, Brian fourth. If Adri doesn't join, we'll invite Brian Scott. Rockstar is fifth, Zem sixth, Puff seventh, Beck will take eighth, Joshua ninth. Say actually got 1 point, so Say actually picked up a point. His penalties hurt him though. He had quite a few by the end. But 10th place for Say. Razor with a good showing in 11th. That's a solid race from Razor. He had some issues, but he still brought it home 11th in his first race here with us. So kudos to him. Great job from everybody. Let's get some interviews going here.
Yeah, Brian left the session.
That doesn't mean he won't get interviewed, but let's see. I guess we could invite Adri. We'll see if he joins. Brian Scott, Jinnit, and Packer.
There we go.
So Brian's in. You did it. Well, we think you did it, but Brian, we don't know what Brian's 5-second penalty was about. Well, if Adri is in show, we'll go with you three anyway. Yeah, Adri, he always goes to bed, so there you go, Jenna, it's your interview. I mean, honestly, I would have chose AA based on our prior knowledge, but the game did also choose AA. Where did you start, Jinnit? 11th to 3rd. Yeah, I would say that's pretty similar. I think he started 17th and finished 10th. Yeah, that's true. It should be Jinnit. That should be Jinnit. All right, GP. You've had lots of questions all night. You've had lots to think about. It's your time. We're finally back doing interviews.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, here we go. All right,
you got
so
13 minutes,
finisher?
too. 13 minutes.
No,
so.
no. Yeah, cheese and crow, you guys.
Indulge.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
So was Jinnit our 3rd place finisher, I believe? Technically, Jinnit.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Jinnit, Brian, whatever. They're fine.
All right, so, well, I'll start with Jinnit. All right, Jinnit, congratulations. Great race. A new track, really, for most of us, right? I mean, not a lot of us have really spent a lot of time on here. Take us through your race and give us any insight into things that might have not gone your way or things you were hoping for that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So did the safety car affect your strategy? No. Now, yeah. So what was it on your qualifying lap that you felt, where'd you lose the time? I mean, it sounds like you felt like you really had a good lap and then it just didn't show up. Okay. So, you did a fantastic job, obviously, and to be honest, you know, you won the championship 2 seasons ago, and then last season, by my definition, was you know, not a disaster, I guess, but that just did not. Yeah, it just didn't go your. Yeah, big time. So this is in I mean, comparatively speaking, I mean, this is a great start for you, and it's got to make you feel pretty good about the season ahead. Cool. All right. Well, again, congratulations, and hope to see you on Beer League night Friday night. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
GG did it.
So yeah. Yeah. All right, Brian. Congratulations. So P2, P3. We're not sure really where that's going to happen, where that's going to end, if there's an appeal on the penalty or not. Yeah. So take us through your race.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt pretty comfortable with this track. I botched my last qualifying lap. I just got a notification and my eyes turned away and I kind of lost the back end. So I feel like I could have started better qualifying wise, but I'll take where I started and made up those positions on the start. And then from there it's just pretty smooth. I only could bring so much out of the car with my setup. It was meant more for the corners, even though there are a lot of straights here. So Andrew was able to pick me off there at the end, but I'll take P3, which it should be because I will be appealing that penalty.
What was the penalty? What happened?
So during the safety car, obviously we had an AI that was leading, and the safety car, as we know, is never fast enough.
Right.
So I'm just trying to not crash into the back of Packer, and Say, who's behind me at the time, comes up next to me, because I'm assuming on his screen it says to pass me. And then it gets, I have an illegal overtake, because he tried to overtake me, so.
Right. So that bug that they fixed last year is now back and happening the same way it used to. What a shock. Yeah. They patched it last game and didn't carry that over. Unbelievable. Because remember last game they fixed that, where if someone accidentally overtook you, it would just let you fix it and not worry about it, right?
I mean, did it? I always thought
I think
it was
so.
Messed up, but
I know. Yeah. I think it would say like return to correct position. It would only penalize the person who made the error. So it would have been like if you overtook someone, it would penalize you, something like that. Anyway, I thought they fixed it last game. But whatever. I'm not shocked. Least shocking thing I've heard all day.
So Brian, how did the safety car play into your strategy? Did that negatively affect you, or were you like glad that it happened, or?
I mean, I'm a little indifferent about it. It didn't hurt, but it also didn't help. I kind of had my strategy set out that I was pinning lap 10, because that's about the sweet spot for the mediums, as well as then the hards to go, was that 15 laps? Mm-hmm. I've kind of practiced enough to know how they were going to last, and that would have been the ideal strategy. But with that safety car coming out, I mean, I had to pit early. I knew at the end the hards were going to be a little rough, but you can't not pit when there's that safety car, especially when pretty much everyone else is going to.
Right. Yeah, you would have been a sitting duck if you had stayed out.
Exactly.
And, yep. All right, well, congratulations. Great race, great start to the season for you.
Thank you.
And we hope to have that continue for you. So now we gotta go. Now we gotta go to Packer. I've never really interviewed Packer.
Really?
Bigger, can you help?
Are you being
Packer,
sarcastic?
congratulations, buddy. Good job.
Thank you.
So qualifying. Let's do it this way. Tell us how you wanted to qualify, how that went for you, and then. Obviously, your race, you were hardly ever challenged, other than when maybe the safety car came out. But kind of give us an overview of your entire qualifying and then the race.
Well, I was hoping qualifying would go a little bit better. Obviously, it was pretty good, but still at the same time, I wanted to duck into the 27th, but I made a mistake in the first sector. Just at the end of the S's. I don't know why, I just understeered. Wasn't on the right line, so lost a little bit of time there, but even then, a flat's still pretty decent, especially with only 2 runs, but yeah, I mean, especially here at Saudi Arabia, I couldn't really be much happier with qualifying, and then the race was just smooth sailing. Safety car put a hiccup into a few of my plans, because starting on the hards, I thought, hoping either for an early safety car, then do medium soft, or just not a safety car at all. So my mediums were just on the barrier of puncture territory. I think I was on 75% crossing the line. But yeah, besides that, no real problems.
It didn't show on intervals, because I think you almost gained a second on the driver behind you in the last lap and a half. So, wow, 70% on those mediums. Well, a great start, and Big and I were talking about this through the race. It's an extremely competitive field immediately behind you, and we're all hopeful that these different tracks that come up, we can find somebody, or somebody can find their pace and challenge you and give you a hard time. Otherwise, we're going to be hoping for safety cars, unfortunate incidences.
He doesn't want to watch you. He doesn't want to watch you Schumacher the whole season.
And actually, we've already established that you are commentator curse immune. So
Yeah.
we can't even affect your race by commenting
Purposely
on.
trying to, curse you.
Yeah, purposely trying
We
to
really
curse you.
we got nothing left. We don't know what to throw at you anymore.
Now, the weather comes into play too. So I mean, that's another
Yeah,
thing.
I'm sure he's.
I mean,
quick
I
on the
also had a
weather,
league
too.
race at Saudi Arabia, and I was sweating the entire day trying to find a setup, so that didn't really help,
Yeah.
I guess. So,
I just want to ask a question quickly before we wrap it up. But are you concerned about being challenged this season, or will you happily gallop around out front and pick up wins if that's the way it is?
I mean, obviously competition is nice, but at the same time with the change to the tiers, Maverick, Rex, Goofy Gibbon, all people who were challenging last year are now down in tier 2, which obviously, I mean, it's nice to see that people are focusing more on assists, and since I'm no line, it helps me, but also at the same time, it's nice, or it's not, I guess, as fun seeing some of the people that I like to interact with, because me and Maverick are on the same team, me and Rex interact pretty nicely as well. It's not great to see that, but I mean, at the same time,
should have told him to drop the assists.
I mean, but then also,
Yeah.
and we have nights like this, so yeah. Either way.
No, there's going to be, I think it's going to be, it's kind of growing pains type thing. I think that's something people need to understand. Actually, to be honest, I'm really happy with how the rest of the field looked. There was a lot of good racing, a lot of close battles, and that's something I was worried about. I'm like, how big are these gaps going to be up and down the field? But it looks like actually it was not bad. So hopefully, over the next little while, we can find a couple guys that are able to come in and give you a little bit harder of a time. It's at some point you do want to have some challenges, right? It's not terribly fun just driving on your own every week, but yeah, I was just wondering how you felt about that, because right now I would say it's the odds if you're going to Vegas, they're gonna be minus 10,000. If you want to win $100, you need to put down 10 grand. But yeah, next week we go to Australia. That's our first sprint
track
weekend.
I've already done.
Yeah, first sprint weekend of the season. So we're actually doing a sprint in Australia. We decided not to do it at Imola. Figured Australia would be a little bit more fun with the new layout. It's a little difficult to overtake there, but the new layout should promote that a little bit, and it's a shorter lap, so we're trying to stick to shorter lap tracks with the sprint so that there's a little bit longer of a sprint race. So next week it'll be one-shot quali. So it's all going to happen very quick. It'll be one-shot quali straight into a sprint session, and that sprint will set the grid for our 50% race. So that's going to happen next week in Australia. Later this week, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we got Tier 2 and Tier 3 on Thursday. Those guys are all running assists, so some of the fast guys you remember from Tier 1 last season will be down in Tier 2 now. I expect Tier 2 to be extremely competitive, top to bottom. I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching those guys for a variety of reasons. Obviously, there will be assists allowed and stuff like that, but I think the competition will be very strong there as well. So, multitude of reasons to watch each tier each night. And Tier 3, we got a bunch of new guys and some familiar faces in there as well that are trying to crack themselves into that top 2 tiers. GP, any final thoughts?
Just want to say again, congratulations, guys. You guys, it was fascinating to watch. Very interesting. A lot of action going on there. Unfortunately, it was behind Packer. However, we were greatly entertained, and I really look forward to the rest of this season with you guys. A lot of close close ability drivers, I guess. So I'm really excited about this upcoming season for you guys.
All right, that's it for the night. We managed to stretch it out till 9:30 somehow. I don't know how the hell that was 13 minutes, but here we are. Signing off, Arbiga, GP Colin. We'll be back next week for the Australia Sprint Weekend, our first of the season. The second one will come about halfway through the season in Austria. The final in Brazil, right near the end of the calendar. So, Australia next week. Later this week, Tier 2 and Tier 3 take on Saudi Arabia. Have a great night.